Welcome back to DeMar DeRozan, and happy birthday, Greg Popovich. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Our Spurs went 2-2 this week, losing against the 76ers, then laying the smack down all over the Houston Rockets, losing a close one against the Grizzlies, and then beating up on not beating up, but beating the Chicago Bulls last night in DeMar DeRozan's return to San Antonio and on Greg Popovich's birthday. So happy birthday, Pop. I'm going to get to my version report card. While I'm doing so, drop a comment down below what you liked about this week, maybe what you didn't like. Hit that thumbs up you like to help support the channel. Fast, free, fun, nutritious, and delicious. And subscribe for more Spurs content. Let's get into my report card. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, anyway, starting off with Mr. Triple-Double, DeJounte Murray. Another good week for DeJounte. Now, I'd like to see his three-point percentage up a little bit more, but aside from that, what can I say? About 21 points per game, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, 2.3 steals, just doing a little of everything. And I like the fact that what we saw last night, terrible shooting first quarter. I don't believe he shot very well against the Grizzlies, but just turned it on. It seems like DeJounte, when we need somebody to score, he's now willing to take that role. Like, hey, the team's struggling shooting. I will put the team on my back and score points when we need it. So I love the maturity that we have seen through DeJounte Murray this season. Up next, Derrick White. I feel like I'm a broken record. A good and bad week. Derrick doing Derrick things, taking charges, getting 7 assists a game, which is great, 4 rebounds. But the bad thing is his shooting has just been off mostly all season. Under 40% for the week again and under 30% from beyond the arc. And I'm not sure why these shots just aren't going in for Derrick. It sucks to have to just almost every week say good and bad because of his shooting percentage. But I got to call it like I see it, Spurs fans. And I know there's been some trade rumors with Derrick White. Very limited rumors. I don't know how much stock I put in them. I can't imagine his trade value is extremely high right now when he's having one of his worst shooting seasons. So moving right along. My man, Kellen. I thought this was a really good week for Kellen. A quiet week, but he averaged 18.5 points per game, and all his shooting metrics were great. 55% from the field. I actually would like to see him shoot more. And this is the Kellen that I thought we would have all season, averaging about 18 points per game. And what I like about Kellen right now is I see him slowly expanding his arsenal throughout the season. He's doing some more mid-range jumpers, a little more moves where he's spinning around, taking shots. I just see that. I can see visibly on the court that his game is developing. So that's a good thing. That lets me know the effort's there. He's putting the time into practice. He's just not doing the same thing over and over. Yeah, sure, he takes some bad shots here and there. Every player is going to do that, especially a young player. But I like what I've seen from Kellen from the start of the season to where we are now. Just keep doing what you're doing, Kellen. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'd love to see him average 18 points per game for the rest of the season. I think he can do it. He's just got to make sure he's getting his hands on the ball enough. Up next, Doug McDermott, Doug McDormat, Doug McBuckets, the Doug. He's got a whole lot of nicknames on this channel. Overall, this is a good week. I almost fringed good bad because his shooting percentages were down a little bit, but he did what we asked him to do. Score, and that's his job. And he showed, of course, some great athletic moves to the rim, just deceptively very athletic. That being said, I've said it once, I'll say it against Spurs fans. I don't think he's the long-term solution at power forward. Granted, Kellen's been switching off at power forward. They kind of flip-flop, and Kellen did a great job. Was Kellen guarding John Collins against the Rockets? He was guarding at least 1 or 2 games this week. He was guarding somebody much bigger than him, which he usually isn't. I thought he did very well at at least held his ground. But again, I think we need a bigger guy at the 4 spot. Kellen at the 3. Could that be Zach Collins if and when he ever plays this season? Time will tell. And last but not least, man, Yaakov. Yaakov has been on fire. Another great week for Yaakov Poeltl. 75% from the field, even hit over 61% of his free throws. 20.5 points, 9 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He's, I believe, 3rd on the team in assists per game, plus just about 3 blocks per game. Spurs fans, since Yaakov Poeltl had that donut game, you guys remember that game where he scored 0? Then he missed the next game with back spasms. He has played in 7 games since then, averaging 19 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists, and 2.9 blocks per game. Those are right around top 5 centers in the NBA's top 5 centers in the league numbers. So he's just been playing at a very high level, and I'm so happy he has really given it, just doing it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's outperformed his contract, and I'm proud to see the development in his game, especially offensively over these last few weeks. Let's go to the bench. And the guy that I think is pretty much our 6th man right now is, I think, Lonnie, has lost that spot. I think he's a primary guy, and we do see Devin, I think, a little more at the end of games in there than Lonnie. had another good week. Now, he has been struggling with a three-point shot of late, but overall, shot 47% from the field, 39% from beyond the arc, almost 15 points per game. Devin making a case that maybe he should be a starter next year. I don't see that happening this season. A lot of you keep saying Derrick White should go to the bench, and I get it. He's been struggling so much with his shot. Could that happen next year and Derrick becomes our sixth man? A lot of you would like to see him run the offense off the bench. Only time will tell. But Devin, just keep doing what you're doing, and maybe that will happen. Speaking of having a good week, finally, Lonnie Walker has been been a very up and down season, and again, a contract year. At least he had a good week this week, shooting 46% from the field, 39% from the arc. Both those numbers are way up from his season normals, and average double-digit points. So Lonnie, I hope this trends in this direction. Unfortunately, Lonnie Walker, it's very much a roller coaster, and I don't like to criticize him saying that, but he's up one week, he's down the next, he's up, he's down. Just can't find consistency. I know some of you will argue that his minutes are up and down, but I think those minutes are going up and down based also on his play. If he's 0 for 5 out there and just being a little reckless with the ball, you can't keep him in there. Anyway, two more players left on the bench. Well, more players left on the bench. Two more players. I'm going to go in depth on their stats. Trey Jones, overall, pretty good week, but his minutes are all over the place. He played 25 minutes. He played 3 games this week. First game he played was 25 minutes. Second game, 11 minutes. And the last game last night, 3 minutes. I don't know what that means with his minutes going like that, but very odd to have him get so many minutes and then just progressively get less and less minutes. So it is what it is. Of course, game situation might be a part of that. We were blowing out the Rockets. Maybe that was the game he had the 25 minutes against. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I didn't note it, but still just really odd how his minutes are all over the place. And last but not least, although some of you may say least, Drew Eubanks. And overall, statistically speaking, Drew had a good week, shooting 59% from the field and 5.3 points in only 10 minutes, plus 5.8 rebounds. That being said, a lot of you will point out the minus 22 he rocked last night versus the Bulls in only 16 minutes. And right now, I think the biggest question with the Spurs is most of our rotation looks pretty set. Devin and Lonnie definitely going to be, the 6th and 7th guys off the bench, depending on who, whatever Pop's feeling that night. Trey seems like he may have carved a role in there. KBD's definitely carved a role. Who was our backup center? It was Drew Eubanks to start the year. Then it was Jacqueline Dale. Looks like now it's just like a hybrid of Drew and Jacques, depending on Pop's mood. That's one spot that I think we really need to fix, because when Yaakov comes out, we see leads evaporate or leads be given up because we don't have that guy as a backup right now. And I like Drew and I like Jacques. Drew, I believe we've seen his ceiling. Landale, this is his rookie year, so I don't know what his ceiling is yet in the NBA, but he's definitely been inconsistent at times. Zach Collins, we'll get right to him. Could he be back next week? I don't think so, from what it sounds like. Could he take that role as backup center as our other two guys are struggling? I think a lot of Spurs fans, myself included, would like to see Zach Collins maybe be the backup 4 and eventually the starting 4, which would give us much more size. Zach Collins is, 6'10"? Going to rebound better than Doug McDermott, going to block shots, and just as much offensive versatility, if you will, when healthy. So ideally, long term, I'd like to see Zach Collins start next year or get a prime backup role this year, and at the end of the season, maybe make the switch if he's playing well enough. But that's all a lot of ifs, and who the heck even knows when he's coming back. I mentioned KBD earlier. He's been out with the KBD, out with the COV. Played 1 game, 15 minutes, 0 points. Next, Jacqueline Dale, 3 games, only 7.5 minutes per game, only shot 38% from the field while averaging 2.7 points. I don't know what's going on with him. Just a very roller coaster type of season where he had the concussion that messed him up early in the season. Then he was out with health and safety, and then he had some moments where he looked brilliant on the floor, and then other moments where it looked like he didn't even belong in the NBA. I guess it's just rookie growing pains, and it's going to be like that probably for the rest of the season. Thaddeus Young. We had a Thaddeus Young sighting, and yes, he is still on the San Antonio Spurs. He either will get traded for maybe a second-round pick. I don't think we're going to get much more in that, or he's just going to get bought out, which is worst-case scenario, which is what we saw with LaMarcus Aldridge last year. Anyway, in the Rockets, which was a blowout, he had 12 points in 12 minutes and shot 6 of 8 from the field, so showing teams, hey, I can still contribute when there's an opportunity, so hopefully he can get something for him. And that's a non-motivated Thaddeus Young. I'm sure he can't wait to get the heck out of here. So anyway, Joe Wieskamp did not play. Juancho Selena Gomez, he played 1 game, 10 minutes, got 3 rebounds, and in his 2 games with the San Antonio Spurs, he has yet to shoot the ball. He's played about 12 minutes or so, He has not taken one shot. Okay, that's odd. I don't know if his confidence is totally shot based on how subpar his performance was with the Boston Celtics earlier this season, but he's not here long term. Don't see it happen. Joshua Primo, he played last night. 13 minutes, 5 points, 2 of 4 from the field, and visibly, you can tell he's been working out. And hopefully, Joshua Primo will get more time as the season progresses, as long as he shows that he obviously belongs out there. And last but not least, everybody's favorite name to say, Devontae K. Cock in the G League, killing it in the G League, not getting an opportunity with San Antonio. We could use his size, could use his rebound, he could use his K-Cock. But anyway, my player of the week. Yeah, I didn't expect to say that. Last week I did a co-MVP, but this week I'm going with one, and I got to go with Yaakov. Man, just since that 0 point game and then missing a game with back spasms, he has just been phenomenal for the Spurs, averaging close to a double double with 20 and 9 plus the 3.5 assists and just about 3 blocks, and hitting his free throws now, so he's not a huge liability there. Yaakov, my man, you are my player of the week, and he has really impressed lately. If he continues this for the rest of the season, let's say he averages 18 and 9, yeah, he's really proven a lot of people wrong, myself included, that's saying he's not a legit starter in the NBA. And I love to eat my words when I say something about a Spurs player and they prove me wrong. I sincerely mean that. If I say so and so player, insert name here, I don't think they're good enough to do so and so or blah 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 blah, and they show me that they can. Great. I'm happy to eat my own crow. Just like Lonnie Walker. I hope he proves me wrong with the last 7 games left of the season and just balls out and goes nuts and averages 20 points per game and says, yes, I deserve a contract to be here next year, Spur for life. So there you go. Up next, the San Antonio Spurs have the Phoenix Suns, the Golden State Warriors, the Miami Heat, and Houston Rockets. Oh, my goodness. That is going to be a rough week, Spurs fans. We could go 1-3. We could go 0-4, but hopefully not worse than 1-3. I'll be happy if the Spurs can go 2-2 next week. I will. And if we can go 3-1, even better. And if somehow pull off a 4-0, that would be ridiculous. But I don't see 4-0 or 3-1. That's a really, really tough schedule. We have, I think, still the hardest schedule remaining in the NBA. But if we can take 2 of those games, I expect us to beat the Rockets again. They're just discombobulated right now. And take a game. If we could take a game from Phoenix or Golden State, that would be awesome. And then 3-1 would just be a fantastic week. I will be calling the Warriors game, the Heat game, and the Rockets game just as an FYI if you're still here. The NFL playoffs are tomorrow. It's the AFC Conference, the NFC Conference Championships. I don't want to miss those. The playoff weekend last weekend was probably the best playoff weekend I've ever seen in my life as a football fan. So, unfortunately, one of the conference championship games, I don't know which one is going to bleed over, if you will, into the Spurs game. So I'm going to watch the Phoenix Spurs game. And if there's a game-winning shot at the end, I'll put up a quick short of hopefully the Spurs winning it. But otherwise, I really want to just chill and watch football tomorrow because it's been a fantastic playoff season. That's all I got. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go!